Hey everyone, welcome back to the Grow Smarter podcast where we discuss all things HubSpot, marketing, and business growth. Josh and I were just chatting off the air earlier this week about our favorite ads of all time. We got into a really good rhythm and we thought it would be a great podcast to share some of our favorites.
Yeah, and not just TV ads either, billboards, print ads, digital ads, everything. Bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, the whole way it came about was, I can't remember what you said, but, I just said, I just want milk to taste like real milk. And we just thought that ad is 15, 20 years old by now, but it's still such a part of Australian culture and the vernacular, really.
Yeah.
I've got friends who are, a friend of mine bought a bike recently. I was sort of like, oh, what do you want? What type of bike? And she's like, I just want the bike equivalent of I want milk to taste like real milk. I just want a bike to be a bike. Doesn't need anything else. And it's just such a simple message, all smarter, white milk, smart choice.
Yeah. And that, to be a 20-year-old ad and a lot of people can still recite all those different types of milk, that's pretty impressive.
I never heard of extra dollop. I still have no idea.
It sounds delicious.
What is it? High scheme? Oh, no, I can't say it. Light skim, omega-3, high protein with folate or extra dollop.
Yeah.
I feel like every Australian over 25 can probably
at least half the list. Yeah. Well, one of my favorite ads ever is it's actually a pretty recent one is the Doritos ad, the no logo Doritos ad. I don't know if you've seen it, but
No.
it might have been like a Super Bowl commercial or something. But they ran an ad where straight up at the start of the ad they said, this ad has no logo. And they never use the Doritos logo. They never use the Doritos name. They literally just talk about like a corn chip. They show you a red bag. Like a guy holds up like a blue bag and a red bag. And everyone knew what they were talking about. Like I don't think anyone watches that ad and isn't sure what brand it is. And it's just so effective. Like I feel like I like the ad because it's such a flex. There's only a handful of brands in the whole world that could do something like that. Maybe like Coca-Cola with a red can or something like that. But it's such a flex to literally show you a red bag and show you a couple of triangles throughout the ad. And people know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So if anyone's like me, we'll pop it up on the screen now and we'll put a link in the description as well. But it kind of reminds me of the Absolute Vodka ads. I don't know if you've seen those. They're kind of similar. They use a brand mark, which is the silhouette of their bottle, of their vodka bottle. And
well, that's iconic too, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's just that it's the shape and people can just understand what it is. And it's, they can take that into so many different scenarios. It can be at the beach with friends. It can be at home, with a partner or your family. And it's just so powerful how a simple shape can just tell such a big story.
Yeah. So what is it that works about that? Because obviously you can only really do it if you're already a sort of top of mind brand, where, if I was thinking about vodka, then Absolute would be one of the first ones. Corn chips, I'd definitely think of Doritos. So why does that work as an advertising technique to have such an iconic silhouette or not even a logo, but such an iconic product?
Yeah, I think it's just the simplicity of it, and it's unique as well. I'm fairly certain that Absolute have also trademarked the shape of their bottle. And it's a similar thing with Cadbury. The purple from Cadbury, that's a trademarked color. You can't use that because it's so distinctive to that brand. It would be the same if you showed someone a photo of an unmarked block of chocolate, an unbranded block of chocolate, and put that color purple next to it. There's that immediate association because it's so simple. And I think that's what a lot of great ads do really well is they have one really clear message and they get it across in the most simple way possible.
And also, like you said, the unique design. If you can somehow make what you sell iconic in some way where all you have to do is show a triangle or a certain shaped bottle and someone goes, your brand, then it's pretty effective marketing.
It doesn't have to be unique as well. I mean, glasses are a very generic shape, but you were talking about the Specsavers ad as well.
Yeah. They have a lot of really clever marketing. Actually saw a few billboards that had their iconic slogan, "Should have gone to Specsavers," which is one of my favorite like ad slogans ever. It's just so simple. The brand is built into
Yeah.
the slogan, and you say it in day to day life. Like I've definitely dropped an easy mark in footy before, and someone's gone, "Oh, I should have gone to Specsavers."
Yeah,
So impactful. But I've also seen a lot of their billboards where I don't know if you've seen these, but it'll be upside down, and then
Oh,
it'll
I
say
have.
on it,
Yeah, I have
"Should have
seen
gone to
those. Yeah.
Specsavers." Or I saw one where it was like the ladder that someone had used to put up the billboard, but the kind of the sticker, the banner had been put over the ladder, and it said, "Should have gone to
Yeah.
Specsavers." Yeah, just really clever. I think the slogan does so much heavy lifting for their brand.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe the first thing a lot of people would associate with their brand. And it's a great example of how just a small chunk of words can do so much for your advertising.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me, like we're saying, it's that should have gone to Specsavers and it's just executing in all these different ways. Reminds me of this ad that I've seen. I've never actually seen it out in the wild, but I've seen it a lot in like marketing seminars and workshops and things like that as a brand of double glazed windows.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen the ad out in the wild, but I've seen it a lot in like marketing workshops and seminars and things like that. But their whole idea, and they don't actually say it in the ad. All they have is the ad is like, let's say it's a billboard, for example. The billboard is framed by a window. It's got their little brand logo in the bottom corner or wherever it is. It's Weru, Weru. Again, we'll put a link in the description or put it up on screen or both. And their whole idea is that it makes big sounds small. So they'll have things like a fire truck, a jet plane, types of things that would normally make a big sound, but what they've done is they've made them small in the frame. So instead of you're looking out the window and you're seeing a group of firemen riding on a tiny fire truck.
Yeah,
You're looking
right.
out the window and you're seeing a policeman yelling something through a tiny megaphone.
Yeah.
And it's just, you don't even need words to understand what that's telling you.
Yeah.
It's just so simple. And I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. You can almost imagine that policeman holding the megaphone, that tiny noise coming out of the megaphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those associations that people make, like, if we see a megaphone, we associate it with like loud noise, loud volume.
Yeah.
But I think that's so clever because it just totally reverses your association.
I think that's why it works so much. It plays on something that we already know. We know fire engines make a loud sound. We know big things are loud, and we know that small things are quiet.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of print ads, one of my favorites, this has stuck with me since I was a kid. I loved these ads so much. It's for Juicy Fruit, the chewing gum. And again, we'll put it up on the screen. But it would show like a kid either like bungee jumping over crocodile infested waters and like reaching on the ground for like a pack of juicy fruit chewing gum. Or it would be like a girl diving to the bottom of the ocean, trying to and she'd have like, goggles on or something, and she'd be like reaching for the chewing gum, and there'd be like sharks around her. There'd be like spikes on the ground, like all these kinds of dangers. And I think it worked so well because one, the art is really impressive. And as a teenager or a kid reading a comic book, I would stop on those ads and the art was so detailed and so cool that I would just look at the ad for like 5 minutes, just
Yeah.
like totally get absorbed in it. Almost to the point where every time I bought a comic book, I'd look forward to like, what ad are they going to do this time?
It's kind of getting you in the right time. Like you're already
Yeah.
reading a comic book, you're already primed to be wanting to look at some cool artwork.
Yeah.
And when you come across, I assume it was a full page ad.
Yeah.
When you come across this full page ad of this wild, wacky, crazy artwork, you want to stop and look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Like they were superhero comics, so it's just like a great example of knowing your audience. Your audience is, the target audience for this ad was kids and teenagers who obviously like action-packed things, who obviously like art and like sort of spending time looking at art and looking at details. It's not the kind of thing that you could put on a billboard over a highway because you would sort of drive straight past.
Miss the detail.
Yeah, exactly. But these were ads that you could spend 5 minutes looking at and pick up new details. Such a great example of ad placement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like all yours have been food ones. You got any other food ones for me?
More food ones.
Just recorded this before lunch, by the way.
Yeah, true. I'm getting hungry. Yeah. There was another one. I think this is pretty recent as well. I think it ran in the UK for a cereal called Cereal.
I think I heard about this.
Yeah, where basically they had print ads. They would be at like bus stops or on billboards or just up at like, the train station. And there would be celebrity endorsements. So
Right.
it wouldn't have the celebrity like in the photo, but it would say Michael Jordan loves our cereal, or this is The Rock's favorite cereal, or Serena Williams is obsessed with this cereal. And then it would have a little asterisk, and right under it, it would say something like Michael Jordan is a digital marketer living in London, or
Okay,
Serena
right.
Williams is just a normal person living in blah, blah, blah. And they're really effective. They went viral for it. I think because, it's pretty cheeky.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that one is effective is because it sort of gets you to stop with the celebrity endorsement. Like they're choosing the most famous people in the world.
It's like a hook.
Yeah, that you sort of trust. Like, Michael Jordan, whatever he's eating, I'd probably trust him. It sort of hooks you in and then gets you with humor by telling you, Michael Jordan, it's not the basketballer, it's just a normal dude. And I think they actually got people with the same name to endorse the cereal. So, they were pretty legally it was sound.
Yeah. I bet they ran that through their legal team a couple of times.
Yeah. And the what is it? The not the footnote.
Disclaimer?
The fine print. The fine print isn't really fine print. It's like sort of in the middle. So it's like they're not trying to fool anyone. I think they're just by the time they hook you and they make you laugh and then show you the bowl of delicious looking cereal with the brand name, by then it's kind of in your head and you're probably thinking about that later. And really clever advertising.
Do you think that having a celebrity endorsement builds more or less trust than just talking about regular people's experience?
It probably depends. I mean, if there's a celebrity I trust and admire and idolize, and they're endorsing something that doesn't go against what they stand for, if that makes sense. Like it's
on
not
brand.
Like I know there were a few back in the 90s, like lots of athletes like advertising like chocolate brands as if they ate chocolate all day, and that was sort of, I think I wouldn't see that as trustworthy. But if they're endorsing something that they actually stand for, that aligns with their identity, and I like and admire that person, I think that works really well, as opposed to either a celebrity I don't like. I mean, I'd probably stay away from that brand, or a clear sellout. Whereas just from normal people, I mean, that's maybe sort of in the middle for me.
I think the sellout thing for me is like, you're aware that people pay for stuff now, no celebrity is just endorsing a product or a service for their own benefit, just because they like it. Maybe if it's a charity or like a cause or something, yes. But, like Keanu Reeves, he's doing ads for Squarespace, or at least he was, He's not doing that for free. I'm not going to go like, oh, wow, Keanu Reeves loves Squarespace. Yeah, he loves getting paid by Squarespace. But I think for me, it's kind of like, it doesn't really do anything for me. Like having the celebrity kind of hooks me in, like you say, but I don't necessarily think for me it builds a lot of trust. Actually, just before we started recording, I don't think you were in the room, but Tony was showing us an ad for a custom neon sign company. They're literally called Custom Neons. During their ad, it was really cool and creative, and sort of about halfway through, the person in the ad stops and goes, "I'm just an actor. This is just an ad. Don't listen to me. Here's some reviews from real people," and then actually brought in some Google reviews or product reviews from their website and spoke about the real people. And I went, oh, that's really cool. They're being so transparent and so upfront. That gives me a lot of trust in the brands, I think.
Yeah. If you can straight up be honest with the viewer, I think that goes a long way in establishing a little bit of trust and a little bit of authority. And also having I feel like there's a bit of a knack to having just the regular person talking about your brand, where they have to talk about the benefits or how they benefited from your brand. I think that's really important. Like, in every bit of social proof,
Yeah.
it's maybe not enough to just say, hey, I really like this brand. They should say, this is how this brand helped me. Whereas you probably can just get Michael Jordan to say, this is my favorite cereal, and like you're good.
I'm less impressed that Michael Jordan likes the cereal. I'm more impressed about how big of a marketing budget you
Yeah,
have.
yeah, exactly.
But like you said, social proof, like it's so hard to get, but it's so valuable. Like every business would dream of just having that social proof that the big brands have. Like, do you remember the I Bought a Jeep campaign? Yeah. I actually had a friend of mine, for those who don't know, they ran this whole ad campaign where people were in like really crazy scenarios. Like I think there was one a guy had had his first child and he rings his parents. Instead of telling, oh, your grandparents, I had my first kid, he goes, I bought a Jeep.
Yeah.
All this stuff. I had a friend of mine who actually bought a Jeep when that campaign was running. And he started telling everyone, I bought a Jeep. She's like, oh, what have you been up to? Oh, I bought a Jeep. How's your holiday? Oh, I bought a Jeep. And he was just like, he started just telling everyone. And all of a sudden, Jeep had got all these people telling all of their friends about their Jeep. He didn't necessarily say, I love my Jeep. Didn't go, oh, it's got all-wheel drive traction control, can fit a set of golf clubs in the back, whatever. But yeah, he was making his friends and family aware of the brand and that he trusted the brand. And that's something that brands would really love to get.
I know multiple people who have bought a Jeep since that ad campaign ran, and every single one of them said, I bought a Jeep when they were talking about their new car.
Brilliant.
And like, I know before that ad campaign, I don't know, I think I associated Jeeps with like
Jurassic Park.
Park, or like even like, I don't know, like a military vehicle or something, not something that you just drove around as a normal person on the roads. But I think that campaign went a long way in making people visualize themselves buying a Jeep and having like and owning one. I think that really changed the brand's identity to some extent.
So, we've touched on a few things, a lot of food brands just before lunch. We've touched on a lot of things. What would be one key takeaway you're thinking of? What would be one key takeaway for brands from all these ads that we've spoken about?
Well, a lot of the ones we've spoken about have been really big brands that can afford, like, a brand just starting out can't afford to make an ad with no logo and no name. So I feel like one big takeaway is, for starters, maybe placement, thinking about your audience, who you're advertising to, when they are going to be talking about your brand. Is the best move for you to put up a billboard on the highway, or is it to put it in newspapers or as someone scrolling Facebook? When are people going to be thinking about your product or your service, and when they want it? And also thinking of ways that you can sort of distill what you sell into a small chunk of words. I mean, again, nailed it with should have gone to Specsavers. Trying to come up with something that advertises you very simply that's going to stay with the viewer. Yeah. And what about you?
Yeah, for me, it's just simplicity. Have one thing that you're trying to say, have one message, and get that across in the simplest way possible.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
All right, everyone, thanks for listening. Stay tuned next time, and we'll see you in the next episode.